Hello and welcome. Today's project is all about health anxiety. Let's pick this apart a little bit more today because there's an underlying root factor that we need to talk about so that you can loosen your grip, your control over health anxiety. That's a really important word, control. Health anxiety is defined as the constant rumination over your health. Rumination, let's pick that word apart. Another word for rumination could be obsessing. You're obsessing over a particular feeling, a feeling that hasn't occurred to you before, a strange sensation that when you Google it comes up as a serious illness. Now, what's the issue with Google? Well, when you go on Google, you get an infinite amount of possibilities. Your mind clicks right to the worst case scenario. Why? Well, we're already anxious as it is because this strange sensation, it's unknown to you. It's novel. You don't know what it is. You're asking yourself a lot of questions. What if it's, what could this be? It's a painful feeling. Painful is related to, links all the way down to death. And so we go on Google, and then there's that disease that links all the way down to death, and we immediately resonate with that one and emotionally react. That's the thing. We emotionally react to that worst case scenario because we want to keep ourselves alive, and we naturally pull ourselves towards that worst case scenario. And I think it's also because we're unconsciously expecting the worst case scenario because, this is not good. That's what we say to ourselves. This feeling, it's not good at all. So it's the obsession over our health because of the self-talk that we give ourselves. It's because of the emotional reactions we give ourselves when a strange sensation pops up. Because when I suffered from health anxiety, I wondered, why isn't everybody else concerned over their health? Why isn't everybody losing their minds and suffering from a catastrophic depression when something strange, a sensation, pops up? I was bewildered because my focus, my attention was on certain parts of my body. And I came to understand that it was their mindsets. They didn't have that control that I was having. I wanted to feel perfect all the time. If something strange popped up, then it would be too novel and my anxiety would get worse. So it's like quicksand. What happens when you're in quicksand and you try and wiggle your way out? The more you wiggle and squirm, the more you sink. And this is what happens to health anxiety sufferers. The more they try and gain control, the more they sink. Okay? So let's look at obsessing. Obsessing is when you are focused, all of your attention. So during the day, when you're interacting with people, you're hardly paying attention to what they're saying. You're hardly paying attention to the work that you're doing. Your mind is so fixated on these strange feelings. So it's important to ask yourself, if you are not sure, if you are struggling from health anxiety, if you're struggling with, what if this isn't a real illness, or what if it is a real illness, you don't know, you're in total confusion, then I want you to ask yourself, am I spending most of my day fixated over this sensation? Really ask yourself this question and you will come up with an answer. Do I feel stressed? Do I feel stressed? Is my attention on this particular feeling, sensation, these emotions? And then really be honest with yourself and you'll come up with an answer. When I started to ask myself these questions, I came up with, yes, I feel stressed. I feel like my mind is clustered. And that's another question you can ask yourself is, well, what is my mind like? Is there a lot going on? And for me, the answer was obviously, yeah. I wasn't in the present moment. I didn't feel relaxed and comfortable. I felt like there was too much noise in my mind. So these are signs that you're obsessing. These are signs that your stress response is active. Because health anxiety sufferers think that, this is an illness, not stress. Stress isn't even in the equation for them. They just think it's an illness. But once they start to look at obsessing, and then when you look at obsessing, it links to anxiety because obsessing is this cluster of thoughts. It's this anxiety system that is continuously active, and because it's continuously active, it becomes their new normal. And so they believe that this stress is what's normal to them, and that anything other than stress is just too novel, right? So when people start to relax, so I see this with my coaching and my clients, when they start to finally relax and gain this space in their lives, they're like, Brad, I can't believe that I'm missing out on this space and other way of living. I've been so preoccupied up in my mind that I failed to realize that I can have such space and to take that breath during the day. And for me, I noticed that as soon as I started to add more space in my day, that my anxiety system was lessening in severity. And thus my symptoms were lessening in severity. I was loosening my grip over them. Because I like Michael Singer, who he talks about this analogy of the bird falling into the water and the wings are wet, but the more the bird struggles and the more disturbance the bird causes of the water. And the more disturbance, well, the more chaos, the more the bird drowns. But when the bird starts to let go and stops relying on the water to determine the bird's state of mind, then the bird can finally float on still water rather than rocky, disrupted water. Because the more the bird tries to flap its wings to control the water, the more the water is disruptive. And it's like us in our minds. The more we're trying to gain control over these feelings and these negative emotions that we're going through, this chaos that we're experiencing, the more we're trying to control this, the more we're disrupting the water, the more we're sinking into the quicksand. So letting go of that control will calm the water. It'll calm your system down. Your system is in stress mode. I thought I had a wide range of health concerns. I thought I was suffering from kidney disease, then I thought I was suffering from cancer, and then I was hyper-focused on this mole. And then once I started to ask myself the questions I was asking earlier in this video, I started to realize, oh my God, because I'm obsessing means my anxiety response is trying to figure out a problem. So I'm anxious. My stress levels are high. And because my stress levels have been high for years and years of my life, this is all I know. And once I stopped trying to control all of how I'm feeling, then the less anxious I became. I started to surrender and give in. And it's so funny because it was a paradox. The more I was struggling to gain control, especially at night when I was trying to sleep, the more I would stay awake and ruminate over these thoughts that would continuously remain present. And then I thought, what if I just said to myself, you know what? I surrender to this. If it kills me, let it kill me. So what if I die? Like the root cause of it all, the death of it, right? So what if I die? Then I'll be at peace and I wouldn't have all of this mind to contend with, right? So I was like, so what if I die? I'm already living in hell as it is. So I started to loosen my grip, and then this is what I found extremely useful, was structuring my day so that I was spending quality time with myself. I went to the coffee shop because I felt like, you know what, this is nice. Having this tea, having this decaf coffee, staring at the window, and having this breath just go, this is this time with myself. This is a time where I don't have obligations. And if you can't go to the coffee shop, if you're dealing with a lot of, if you're a mother of many children and there's a lot going on in your life, make sure you spend those gaps. Wake up 10 minutes earlier, spend that time with yourself to just go, this is nice. I'm having my favorite tea, coffee, and I'm just breathing here, no distractions, or having that time to meditate and to be present and to just let go, or having that time in your car just to not be rushing around, because that's also a sign of health anxiety, is how quick are you doing things? Are you doing things quickly, speeding, and noticing what parts of my day am I doing things quickly, reducing it by 50%, and then noticing the results? Absolutely powerful. So practice letting go. Open up your day. Add some space. Start to engage in relaxation strategies, breathing exercises, and you'll find that the less you try and control all of this, the more relaxed and the less symptoms you will feel and experience. It's when we're trying to solve the problem. If you're trying to solve the problem of something right now, then that's a sign you're obsessing and your anxiety levels are high. So what? So what if it's kidney disease? There's no trust in your body right now, is there? There wasn't any trust for me. My foundation, the old Brad foundation, was rocky. It was built on sand. Let go. And you start to realize that the more you let go, the more space you will have in your life. And that's where I'm going to leave you on today's video. Thank you so much for being here. Leave a comment below of what health anxiety is doing to you, what you find to be useful when it comes to handling and overcoming this health anxiety. Do not let anxiety define who you are, because we can easily get so caught up in the chaos of our thinking mind. I will see you on the next video. Bye for now. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell so that whenever a new video of mine appears, you will be one of the first to know. Namaste.